everyone. Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh. I'm Jaspreet Singh, PhD researcher at Birmingham University. And I also started my masters in University of Leicester. But yeah, I really love it, and I think I'm really enjoying it. So I'm going to be presenting to you guys about the exploration of the narratives of the later experiences of the Sikhs in the birthplace in the UK. I'm going to tell you something funny, right? Sara kuch main kar liya, you know, I've been through a lot in PhD, ups and downs, survived, thanks to Ustad Ji, like being the backbone for giving me motivation. I submitted in November. American elections and stuff was going on. And Donald Trump was like, diversity, inclusion, we're just gonna rip it apart. And I was like, lelo, right? And then actually it happened. And then after that, like whatever America says today, England or people, the right-wing parties will start saying afterwards, and now article reform, we can say DEI, we're not gonna include it. So I was like, oh my God, where will my work sit? But excited, never mind, at least it will help. Right? But then I'm very thankful that we were big intellectuals here. Bada cha chadda hai that older ones are here to see us and actually motivate us. But I can say I'm young with Mars Kirpa. We have big dreams. And I think the ways you've created with Mars Kirpa, we can extend it. We will work hard, and hopefully the younger generation will be much better than us. Hopefully with Mars Kirpa. Okay. So I'm going to introduce what and why. So why I started researching about the lived experience of Sikhs in the workplace. My research question, so main research question was why and how Sikhs may or may not feel included in the workplace. Workplace is an interesting place, right? We spend quite a lot of our times. Many times people come back home, you can see the frustration, they don't speak much, right? There isn't much literature out there specifically for Sikhs as well. Okay, key theories, interesting, that I'm going to discuss, methodology, then key findings, and very importantly, please wait for the future directions of the research. I feel, hopefully, one thing I can do through my presentation is complicate the things, right? Hopefully it'll give you different narratives which will help you to relate on a spectrum of workplace inclusion experiences. Okay, what and why? So we got about 526,000 Sikhs, approximately 1% of all of the UK population, 21.2 in professional occupations, mainly teachers, doctors, accountants, money-making jobs, right? Quite a lot. It's interesting. But then 14.1, we have managers and directors. And I think very interesting thing, one of the reports by British Sikhs report, it says there's a shift as a community. Back in the days, people would love to be self-employed, right? So there's a shift. People are actually now working for others or other organizations. So there's a shift happening. Another very important shift happening in the UK, I can say, is quite a lot of Sikh networks. And they're doing a good job though. Occasionally they invite us for Keaton, right? They're doing talks and stuff. So it's really good, especially in the finance sector, it's developing. And I think hopefully over the time, the networks will develop even more. So my study specifically looked at the experience of Sikhs within the workplace, within the West Midlands. Can someone tell me what's the most populated area of Sikhs in the UK? Not in the West Midlands. Wolverhampton. Are you sure?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Also, that's what I wrote my PhD.
Are you sure? Okay. I don't know. According to, I think it's Sandwell.
Oh,
yeah. Sandwell, Birmingham.
Sandwell comes under Wolverhampton.
Birmingham comes under Punjab. Okay, but yeah. So Sandwell quite a lot, Birmingham quite a lot as well, and then very few in Leamington Spa. But it's all right, we can understand it, right? Okay, so about 3% in West Midlands, 16 to 64 years of age, 67%, 116,000 approximately within the West Midlands, they're working. Why I wanted to do this? Personal experience is definitely one of my PhD supervisors was really good. He motivated me, so you need to look at a broader spectrum. I started looking at positive literature, had quite a lot of look at the negative literature, how people may experience racism, negative workplace experience, especially bullying in the workplace. But then workplace inclusion, it was understudied, right? There's a big knowledge gap. There's only one study by Sangha, 2021, which I'll mention. Really good study. It discusses visibility and invisibility of Sikh women in the workplace. So that was really, really good. But then there's not much. I feel hopefully we can initiate a dialogue. Slowly. So as you can see, research question was how and why Sikhs may or may not be included in the workplace in the West Midlands here in the UK, and objectives were as follows. Okay, key theories which I looked at: diversity and workplace inclusion. Can someone tell me what can be the difference between these two words, diversity, workplace inclusion?
Diversity is the actual number of people.
Yeah.
Inclusion is kind of the next step, actually belonging to the ultimate aim, because you can include people, but then actually if they truly belong, they have the space to shape the space and have the tools.
Amazing. Thank you. What's your name?
Raj, University of an EDI specialist, so I probably should.
Great. Great. So definitely. So in late 90s, early 2000s, a lot of ideas were like, okay, we need different people on the table, we need representation. But then literature started moving more towards workplace inclusion. And one of the guys, Ferdman, he argued there are 6 different levels of inclusion, starting from the South. And then he argues the people you work with, the organization itself, the society itself. So this is how you would experience inclusion. So quite a lot of different levels. And another set of theories, I would say, intergroup behavior theories, social identity theory, realistic group conflict theory. Okay, to explain it quickly, can I have 2 pens? Okay, I think keep it with you. Okay, I haven't got much time. So these theories, they rely quite a lot. Some theories look at substances. So if you have 2 pens, for example, the very limited resources, right? Everyone will try to claim it. Equity theory, it looks more idea of justice, how you give promotions, how you give certain little things to people in the workplace. Relative deprivation theory idea is, so I looked into these ideas. And visibility and invisibility of Sikh women, that PhD thesis was amazing. So these are methods which I used. Ontology, relativism, I believe everyone has their own unique truths and they need to be represented and listened. I used holistic content analysis. So this is a time frame, and I interviewed 11 people from the community, and I'm going to present you guys 5 things. So there's spectrum of workplace experiences when it comes to workplace inclusion. So one is definitely there's inclusion, right? On the other side, definitely there's no inclusion. And in the middle, we have a very interesting bit, which I'll tell you guys. So currently, she works in a Sikh majority area. Actually, her workplace helps her to feel closer to Sikhi because she can help quite a lot of vulnerable people. One of the biggest things, for example, she says is that she really gets down. You really get down to your roots. I can speak Punjabi at my workplace. So really interesting. And then people know about her qada, about her identity. And occasionally she goes to Gurdwara for a lunch. Right? Just being a Sikh has its advantages, disadvantages. Worked for a Sikh organization, got exploited, didn't like it, started working for other organization, a corporate organization, really got recognized as a Sikh. So it's interesting, he then said, I've actually come closer to Sikhi and found my purpose by working with other people. Really interesting. And this is a vivid one, I don't know. So we got an immigrant from Canada, multinational company. Whenever I will ask the question, what do you think about your workplace inclusion as a Sikh? What's your story? She says, I don't know. I've been in that workplace for so many years, no one has asked any questions or anything related to Sikhi. So I can make a very subjectivist kind of like, okay, but then again, these voices has to be represented. right? So that's why I feel narrative study is very, very important. So we got Jaspreet Singh, immigrant from Kenya, and this is why I believe we have to do narrative inquiries. Many times thematic analysis and analysis don't work. Imagine explaining to someone, you turn up at your workplace and you're asked to shave your beard. Why? Because the mask will not fit on your face. So you can see, and then person was laid off for a certain time, and then he was asked to come back to work. So it's very important to highlight the context in which the event has taken place. So that's why I feel narrative inquiry and especially holistic content, way of presentation of the work in the thesis is very, very important. And occasionally, patients will be very overtly racist towards him. So kind of sad. And sad thing is, his worldview changed and it started impacting a lot on his mental health and his family. And just even saying, very interestingly, Amartari Singh from United Kingdom faced barriers because of Kirpan. He's a youth worker, went to court, stopped many times. One time he was sitting just like this. The judge asked, okay, can everyone raise their hand if they're okay with the person wearing Kirpan sitting here? And it's interesting, the person said, I felt that I was there to represent a child, to help that child, but I felt I was the victim. So it's interesting how these things manifest. Another time, went to canteen and said, sorry, this is Ramzan time. Why are you here for food, right? Misidentification. So you can read the other. Okay, so future research, so I looked at very big organizations, right? So it will be great if someone can look at small and medium-sized organizations. It will be great. Because the lived experiences, the responsibilities you have, they're quite different. In-depth narrative exploration of one of the things which I have, so you can do that. And very importantly, last thing I'll highlight is, do you guys know the instance, all the events which unfolded after Tarseem Singh came back to work in Wolverhampton buses and stuff?
Yeah.
Yes.
So it's interesting, he was a mourner before, went to hospital, started growing his beard, came back to work, and all these things started. So that's something I think someone needs to look into, how that transition looks. And Sikhs working within Sikh organizations, and I think that's definitely a good angle to delve into. And to just sum it up, just
10 seconds.
100. Things are complex, right? We need to talk about it, we need to further complicate it, and I feel that loads of people, they are enjoying workplace, loads of people are not enjoying workplace, many people don't even know, right? And it's, as a community, I think we need to develop this front, slowly. Okay, whoever's sitting in the workplace as a Sikh feel okay to represent themselves and their views in the workplace. So these are all my references, and thank you so much,
Thank
everyone.
you.